What is up, everyone? Welcome to Plastic Arts Podcast, the show where we break down the video game news of the week. My name is Fonzie. I'm joined by my co-host, indie game dev extraordinaire, Gavin Jones. Gavin, how the fuck are you?
Sleepy.
You're sleepy. That's good.
I stayed up till 1:30 playing Cyberpunk last night, and
Have you beat it yet?
no, I'm 100 hours in, and I still have like half the map worth of side quests to do.
So, at what point? Because I beat it already, and I guess spoilers. But what point are you at in the game?
No idea. But I did just have, so we went different, we picked different genders, which affected certain things. So Pan Am is now my ride or die.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I can't romance her, which is just
that is so frustrating because like she's my ride or die because like she's literally ready to ride or die for me, like completely literally.
You know what, she is for me as well, even though we're not romancing, so it must be part of her character too. But
yeah, I did finally, although on one of these missions, I did finally activate the mission that's right here, the vending machine mission.
Oh, yeah.
I ran by it naked as a jaybird. I was
on purpose? Or
did you do that mission where, so there's that mission, it's kind of spoilery, so earmuffs, everyone. There's a mission where in the intro, you and Jackie, it's like probably your first mission where you raid those people harvesting body parts, and so they tricked me and knocked me unconscious with a halo, and they were going to harvest my organs.
I don't remember that, but I might
so that was a easy to miss mission.
Okay.
And so they tricked me. I'm in there naked as a jaybird, and I had to like steal my shit back and murder. Like I didn't have to murder everyone, but I had to murder everyone. Let's be honest here.
Nice.
And yeah, so I was running still naked because I hadn't re-equipped all my shit, and I ran by the vending machine completely naked. And it's like, hey, why don't you come on over here? I'm gonna tell you a joke.
Yeah, it's weird that
that's crazy that you didn't get that mission. That mission was amazing. Well, not amazing, but it was neat. It was neato.
I must have just passed it somehow. Even the vending machine one, I didn't really see until I beat the game. And now I got the actual thing to where I can trigger it and start playing through that. But I haven't picked it up in a while. Did
you do the mission with the cop?
Which mission? There's that dude who you can help out.
Yeah, he's got the cyber eyes.
Yeah, so I finished his missions. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I can't tell if. Yeah, I was wondering if you can romance him. If I had the option and I hadn't already locked in with Pan Am, that's the thing. I unlike Fallout 4.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have sex with literally everyone.
Yeah, it's tough how selective it is. Although, did you see people have not modded, but they've dug into the files where really everyone is romanceable, but they've made decisions to make it not so as you play through the normal version of the game. But you can make like Pan Am romanceable for anybody, for any character. Like people have done that. They've unlocked it. And there's not only that, there's like dialogue that's
you
there
mean
as
just
well.
with different genders?
Yeah, different genders too. So they just decided to lock that off, but there's dialogue that they're recorded for those romance abilities. So they just decided at some point to not let you do that, but it's in the game.
I think it's nice. It's more kind of accurate with like straight people be straight and gay people be gay.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense.
There's literally only been one other game that's done it. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we got a deflated air mattress in the chat says, bros, just be hoes. It's okay. Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm not mad at it.
Bros, just be hoes.
That's one of your tattoos, right? You have that?
That's, yeah. People,
it's your life motto.
Living vicariously through me. And that's,
But yeah, so you've been playing Cyberpunk. What else have you been playing?
Spelunky.
That's your go-to. Yep.
I still can't get past one of the very early sections, which kills me.
But you've gone to really dig that game, like you've been playing it a lot.
I have. I've also just been watching a lot of TV. So I went through. I finished The Mandalorian season 2.
Oh, you're not even season 3 yet. Nice. Okay.
Season 3 doesn't exist.
Oh no, I guess I'm thinking. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Which I love. So the internet had managed to spoil everything, absolutely everything, except for the ending of The Mandalorian season 2. So the fact I had assumed that I knew every big twist. Yeah. I assume I knew it all. And then when that happened, because of that, when it happened, it hit that much harder. When you see the thing fly in, I was in that much more disbelief of, no,
right.
There's no way the internet didn't spoil this. And that was
That was great. That was such a great reveal. And although I'm on Twitter constantly, so I did see that stuff.
Oh, okay.
I was spoiled, and then I think everyone gave it like maybe 2 days before they just started dumping all the GIFs, like showing what was happening.
Did you tear up at that scene? Because I teared up.
For sure. So I teared up when, they have to split these characters. I don't know why we're, spoiler alert, whatever. But
well, I mean, it's still recent. Like, I only just saw this
shit. Like a month ago, right? I feel like the season finale happened.
Whatever.
So spoilers, at the end of the season, you have Luke show up, and he just mows through everybody. It's such a dope scene, but he comes to take away Baby Yoda, and I teared up at that scene for sure because it's just
when the helmet came off, that did me under.
That's his ultimate, like, hey, I trust you, and I don't care anymore, and
Yeah.
I love you and I don't want to see you go. I got all that from his face. And man, it was tough because, and then I'm thinking like, where do they go from here?
That's why I didn't know if there was going to be a season 3, because the story feels done. It feels complete.
Yeah.
So
they have announced, there is a season 3, but it's not till like next year, because they're going to do that offshoot show with Boba Fett. And so he has a show coming next year, which normally takes the place of Mandalorian.
Right.
So that's going to happen. So they are going to continue, but I just don't know what they're going to do.
I'm so okay with it, because here's the thing. Production got so slowed down this year that next year, like, we're going to have 1,000 TV shows to watch.
They've
no
already
one's
announced
going to be able to keep up with anything.
Yeah.
Next year's when we get Witcher.
Season 2?
Or that's this. I guess it's this year.
Yeah, 2021.
Because, people started filming this last year. So, this year's Witcher. I'm pretty sure
you're right. Yeah, especially with
that was 2019 when we got
that
Witcher?
was 2019. Yeah.
So
especially with Disney, they've announced so many different shows, and they're really doubling down on Disney Plus. So they're all going to that platform because there's no movies, and I guess there's no, for the foreseeable future, there's no place to release movies. So they're just doubling down on content for Disney Plus.
I'll be curious what didn't they announce a Daredevil movie?
No, but they have the rights now to Daredevil, and there is rumors that guy who plays Daredevil in the Netflix show is going to reprise his role in Spider-Man. Have you been hearing about that, like, super stacked Spider-Man movie that's coming out? Apparently everybody's coming back for that Spider-Man.
I mean, bring back that guy as what is the movie?
We got Queen Bundy. So in the chat, Queen Bundy has a message here that is a long one. She expects me to read. And you told her she was the only hoe for you and that she was better than all the other hoes in the world. And then suddenly she's not your hoe no mo. From Michael Scott, The Office. He's dealing with a breakup. And
I remember that scene. That scene is amazing.
You know what? The Office is gone from Netflix. It's a fucking sad time.
The other thing I noticed is gone from there that you probably don't care about, but I've watched it. It's like my comfort food show is Better-Off-Ted.
Better-Off-Ted. I don't know if I've ever watched that show.
I would recommend it. You're just gonna love it. But
who's in it?
The only one you'd know is Portia Del Rossi.
She's dope.
Yeah. And this is probably my favorite role. I love her. Don't get me wrong. I love her in Arrested Development.
Yeah.
But this is her just like amped up.
This looks interesting.
It's about show, right? Like these people run. It's a sitcom. They're in a corporation that's, evil.
Okay.
But it's just like the writing is too sharp, which that's what kills it is the writer's strike.
Oh, and like were they not able to finish season?
Yeah,
or whatever?
they couldn't go into season 3.
Gotcha.
So, and it ends kind of weird in season 2.
Okay.
But it's on Hulu if you want to watch it. But yeah, that got taken off of Netflix, and I mean, if you want like a light and fluffy sitcom, but it's also smart and you're not going to feel dumb for watching it, this is absolutely fucking delightful. You'll just be mad when you get to the end, and that's all.
Well, that reminds me, did you ever watch The Good Place, which is on Hulu?
No, I will.
It's those same bullet points you touched on. It's smart, it's funny, it's sweet, and it's fucking hilarious, honestly.
All right, I'll watch. How many seasons is The Good Place?
3. And they and they ended it. So
all right, I will watch The Good Place if you watch Better-Off-Ted.
I can't make that deal, Gavin.
Better-Off-Ted, really, bro?
Yeah, Queen Bunny says Better-Off-Ted, really, bro.
What?
Yeah, because you kind of pick these weirder shows to
It's
watch.
not even weird. It was amazing.
I don't know. It looks pretty old, but
I
just
old.
never hear anyone.
It is old.
Yeah, which is
this was before I moved away from Yakima. This was.
It doesn't mean it's bad because it's old. You're right, but
this might be 10 years old at this point.
I just never hear anyone talking about it. Like I never hear any good or bad. Like I think the internet or the world's just forgotten about the show.
2009.
That's when the trailer was uploaded, but who knows?
Yeah, that is 10 years old. Wow, that feels like not that long ago. It's weird. It is weird. It's funny though.
She says you're weird, Gavin. Well, so you've been watching some TV. Same here. Like we've been just watching stuff, and we did start. So there's another Netflix movie. It's kind of fucking depressing, but it's still really interesting. It has a bunch of crazy actors in it, but it's called The Devil All the Time. I don't know if you've heard about it. It has Spider-Man. Tom Holland's in it.
Oh, that looked amazing.
Sarsgaard, one of the Sarsgaards.
Is that as good as? Is that a show or is it a movie?
It's a movie, but it's like 2 hours, 3 hours long. It's pretty nuts.
Who's got the time?
Yes, but it's really dope. We stopped halfway because we kind of looked at each other and we were like, it's so depressing, but it's really good though.
That was a show. I finished Cobra Kai season 3.
Ooh.
I tell you what, Cobra Kai season 1, depressing as fuck.
Yeah.
Cobra Kai season 2 starts off, it's like it's pulling out of the darkness, and then it just burrows so much deeper into the darkness. And Cobra Kai season 3, ooh, it was good.
Okay.
It's dark, but like it's like a redemption arc for everyone. Like they made the villain. It's a lot of, you can't drink while watching that show. You can't do double depressants.
Yeah.
It's
for some reason, whatever it's trying to pitch to me, it just doesn't appeal to me. I don't know what it is. Maybe I need to sit down and watch an actual episode, but I've seen like footage and trailers. It just doesn't do it for me.
I'd watch an episode. I won't promise you that it's for you. I really won't.
That's the thing. At the end of the day, sometimes, stuff just isn't for me, for you, for anybody.
I mean, stuff's different for everyone. I have a coworker who's still trying to convince me to watch Breaking Bad. And every time I watch an episode,
I hear you, but that's a great man. Great
I know it is, but
it's kind of long and there's a lot of stuff. And there's episodes where you could clean the house and let them go on, and then like come back for the big ones. But that's a great show. Or like The Wire. I've always wanted to jump in and watch that. Sopranos, we got like halfway through and just haven't jumped back in.
I'm just not into characters that are purely a villain.
I hear you, but at least with Breaking Bad, you see the development of a normal guy into a villain. I like that progression that you see, but with Sopranos, it might be the opposite.
Because I'm spoilerific, I watched the video essay on the character of Walter White and why if you watch his mannerisms, he's been a bad guy the whole time.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. Yeah,
like every time he gets to express violence is when he feels better and is at his peak.
Yeah, he's kind of like always wanted to let this part of his life or his psyche unleash. And they go into like the backstory. He was wronged early on in his career, and I think he always has that chip on his shoulder. And it's a great fucking show, Gavin. You got to watch it.
It's just, there's like a million seasons, isn't there? Like
there
9
is
seasons.
Yeah, so it's definitely it's a whole thing to go through.
I do love that. Both those actors though are great.
You got what's it? Yeah, so man, I'm blanking on their names, but the two main guys you're talking about.
Yeah, and the main guy has like the greatest film name ever. It feels like a stage name. It may be a stage
Bryan
name.
Cranston.
Yeah, Bryan Cranston. That sounds fake as shit. But it's a great name.
It's a great name. I wouldn't doubt that it is fake.
Yeah, I mean, it could definitely be real though. That's like
I would definitely pick my name if I was going to get into the acting world.
He's a talented actor. I'm surprised we haven't seen him in more. Maybe we haven't. I'm just not paying attention.
Yeah, he pops up in stuff. I think after that role, he really gets to like pick what he wants to do. Yeah. And so he's only going to go over like the biggest roles and that kind of thing. But
yeah, he was amazing in Malcolm in the Middle. Like one, there's no one on the other side of this issue. No one has to sing his praises. No one dislikes.
I love their super cuts of like his scenes in Malcolm in the Middle with Breaking Bad, like kind of pulling them together into one trailer. Those are beautiful.
We spent a lot of time bullshitting. What was your weekend or week been? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, same stuff. We're just been watching TV, playing some games, but I did play a bunch of this game called Greedfall. Have you heard of it? It's a free PSN game right now. So it released 2019. It's an RPG. And
this was made by this developer.
They're called Spiders.
Where every time they're like, their games are almost good.
That I hear you. Yeah,
They're just on the edge of being good.
that's my sentiment when I'm playing the game. So it's not bad. So me and Callum decided to play it because it's a free PSN game. Wanted to jump in just blind and see what we think. And I think he's a bit more positive on it. I'm playing it. It's all the mechanics are solid. Like there's really cool RPG mechanics going on. It's just not enough uniqueness in the world to like make me want to play more. But it's like everything they're doing.
Look
at
that background though. That was gorgeous.
That's the thing. The skyboxes, the world around you looks really good. The character models themselves don't look that great. But you have this world that has some kind of play going on. It's like a fictional, 19 or like 18 something kind of British colony or whatever. And then you venture out to this island where there's these weird monsters and stuff. It's pretty cool. It's just at the end of the day, like I know there's better RPGs where if I'm going to spend some time, I'd play those. Like say even the new Final Fantasy remake, I'd play that, or like Dragon Age Inquisition or something. But it's a fair game. It's just I'm excited to see what this developer does next.
Right.
Because when they kind of fine-tune
That's what everyone says with every game they've ever made. Like you're on the
same.
edge of being good. You're so on the edge of being good.
Yep. Yeah,
that's going to be one of the weirdest positions to be in the industry.
Right. Yeah, I kept thinking that. I had the same idea where it's like I hate having to keep saying that. Yeah. Because it's like this cop out where it's like I want to see what they do next. But I feel that with this game, I feel like they can kind of fine tune stuff and get some more, just a bigger budget where they can kind of really like flesh out the world and make some more unique atmosphere. But it's a cool game.
I mean, this is a pretty big budget. Like this isn't like these graphics are. Yeah, what they've done, they've thrown a lot of art at this.
That's the thing. Yeah, I'm not trying to shit on it.
But
it's possible. So it's like a French developer, I want to say, but I'm not trying to shit on it. It's a solid game. It's just like at the end of the day, isn't unique enough to make me like want to play. But the story's pretty interesting. There is that, but I know that there's possibly better RPGs, so maybe I should just spend my time playing that. But I did play, so I've been juggling this.
Wow, that map on the top is like absolutely 100% Skyrim.
Oh, with the way you navigate, yes, for sure, 100%. Yeah, so playing this and also Maneater. Do you remember this game with the shark?
I'm a Maneater.
Yeah.
Oh, it's supposed to be dumb arcadey fun.
It is, yeah. So this is another game that Callum's way farther. I think he beat the game or platinum it. But playing that, and it's decent. There's some cool ideas there, but it's the gameplay kind of like is rinse repeat, where it's a lot of the same stuff over and over again.
Yeah.
But it's interesting.
I've considered it just because I hear it's kind of hard to run. And so now that I have a decent PC,
okay,
it'd be fun.
I don't see why it would be, because I'm playing on PS5. It's technically the like PS5 version of the game. It looks like a PlayStation 4 game for sure, but I can't see why this would be so taxing on PC. But maybe it is. But it's cool. So I forget the name of the developer. They've made
Tripwire, motherfucker.
There you go. Killing Floor, right?
Oh, Killing Floor. Yeah. That game is.
Right.
There is no like guns. There is no game where pulling the trigger on a gun has felt better than Killing Floor. They absolutely.
That's a big statement because you have Call of Duty and other games that nail it too. But.
Well, occasionally like when you pull the trigger and it goes into bullet time, and like normally when you pull the trigger, instantly fires the gun. But sometimes if you have your guy lined up just right for a headshot, when you pull the trigger, it will go into bullet time and you get the slow and it's just
you do the voice effects for it.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like Colin mentioned, he loves that series, and so he's super stoked to play this, but I guess it's a different kind of mechanics going on, but it doesn't, those same skills don't transfer for this game. Apparently it's not.
Right.
He wasn't having he had fun playing through it, but it was like the way that you reach a point towards the end where you become so overpowered where it's just not fun anymore to play. And I'm just like maybe 2 hours in at the most, and he's basically beat it.
I hear it gets very samey instantly.
I could feel that for the first 2 hours, but apparently there is more variation. You have these alligators, these other like great white sharks that you're fighting, and then the humans, which is a cool aspect to it. But it's one of those games that it's on PSN and it's free, so it was no issue playing it. But I don't know if I'd pay to play this game.
The shark has been absolutely skewered.
Yeah, and then you gain health by eating stuff, so it's actually pretty fun and arcadey. But
would you at least say you got your money's worth? Because I know it's not very expensive.
Well, I didn't pay anything, so it's a free PSN game. So I paid my $15 whatever for the month.
So you got your money's worth.
Yeah, for sure. Especially with playing Greedfall too. Like a lot of the free games the past couple months have been pretty dope. Oh. And they had Bug Snacks last month. So
talking about Bug Snacks.
Yeah, but yeah, playing that really, and not a whole lot beyond that. I've been playing some like just older games. So me and Megan got a Wii recently.
Ooh.
And so we're playing through Wii Sports and just having a blast. I did challenge so we had my nephew over the weekend, and he heard we had Wii, not the Wii. We heard we had the Wii and we had Wii Sports, and he's like, "Oh, bet I'm the best at Wii Sports, so I'm going to challenge you." So we played. I don't know how many versions.
Are people still using bet like that?
The kids are. So I stole that from him.
Right.
So we played tennis. We played bowling, and I of course demolished him at like every game. And I made this challenge initially where I was like, if I beat you throughout all these games, then I get to change your Xbox gamer tag to whatever I want. And so I beat him. I didn't end up changing it, but my idea was to change it to Wii Master 509.
Oh my God.
And then so we finished playing. He goes back on and plays with his buddies. And I told him, like, you have to tell everyone that I'm the best Wii player that you know. Like, that's part of the deal too. It's like, okay. So he goes and plays his buddies on Xbox Live. And he's like, yeah, my uncle beat me and I have to change my name to Wii Master 69. And it's like, I overheard him as I'm walking through the hallway. It's like, no, not Wii Master 69, Wii Master 509. I don't want you telling your friends this. There's a key. You got to get those numbers right.
I think drink went down the wrong hole. I think you're gonna have to rematch though. So I have Wii Sports 2.
Oh, okay.
With the advanced controller extension as well as the Wii controller plus or whatever.
That might be the one that we have because it's like Wii Sports Resort.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what we have. Yeah. Then we have the extended doodads to make which I don't remember like being required, but I guess they were.
It totally was. Yeah. The original Wii remote is hot fucking trash. And then the second Wii remote is so much more accurate.
Depeche 83 is asking. Reed is asking if you talked about the Titanic. He watched a 1 hour documentary since, so he knows. Yeah. So my nephew Reed, which you know and love, he's also a big fan for some reason of Titanic and like the lore of it, like the actual event. I think the movie too. He's really cool.
I mean, it's a fantastic movie, but the lore of it.
Yeah, like he's super interested in the event itself too. So, yeah, my mouse is tripping out. There we go. But yeah, so I think every once in a while we'll go down the YouTube rabbit hole of like seeing what happened with the Titanic. Do you ever hear the weird conspiracy theories with the Titanic? There's like a lot of weirdness with that whole event.
I mean, there's going to be conspiracy theories.
For sure, but it's easy to go down that rabbit hole because there was just like weirdness with the company that owns that ship and what they did beforehand and like insurance stuff that might have happened. Like the idea is that maybe it was sunk on purpose. And it's very strange, but it's not really enough to like open investigation or anything, but it's very strange.
I think one of the things that's most shocking about it totally makes sense is so with the you got another comment in chat. One of the things with it is the captain, when he hit the iceberg, he sort of reached a psychological state of there is such an incredible amount of responsibility thrown on me at once that your brain just collapses unto itself. Sure. And that's why he and they basically show that in the movie. He becomes like a zombie. Like his brain can't comprehend what just happened. And
yeah, because it was supposed to be unsinkable, and then this shit happens where it's now on the verge of sinking, and they have to deal with it. And yeah, I could see where if you weren't ready for that, how do you handle that? Yeah, that load on your mind, but.
Because they could have gotten in a better position. They could have done a lot of things, but they just...
Yeah, there's a lot of... it's a whole thing, but it's a pretty interesting story in general. Yeah. But yeah, again, we got some video game news we can jump into. Some stuff here. I'm going to go back to the top.
Now, some of this I got a preview because I managed to catch your podcasty.
Podcast, yeah. So there's a couple of carryover stories from that PlayStation podcast over the week. But we got this first one is more pop culture stuff, but we got Kevin Feige confirms Deadpool 3 is an MCU movie, teases R rating, and when it's filming. So this, I thought was just cool to get an update on this.
Did I tell you I finally watched Deadpool 2?
Did you? Did you like it?
So I did. So I will go on record as saying I did not like Deadpool 1.
I had a lot of cool ideas, but I don't think they're able to like really succeed at stuff until the second one.
I think a character telling jokes just for the sake of telling jokes is not funny. And I love Ryan Reynolds, and that's mainly his shtick.
Right.
But like
he was born to play that role.
Yeah, the story itself was not funny. Deadpool 2 has a story worth telling. Every character in that movie is great. Colossus is great. Even Hypersonic Teenager or whatever her name is kind of funny, and her girlfriend is amazing.
Yep.
Everything about 2 is great, and Deadpool as a character, he gets to be a character. He's flawed. He's trying to take care of it.
Yeah.
That works great. The kid is great. Like, Cyclops' kid is great. I forget what his name is. Cyborg? What is the...
Cyclops' kid?
What is the villain's name?
I don't remember.
Yeah, that's Cyclops' son.
Oh, okay. Well, I know what you're saying, or I can understand what you're saying with the first one, because it's more of a quest like he has with his girlfriend and trying to recapture that. But the second one, he's more dealing with this crazy cast of characters, and I feel like that's just funnier, dealing with everyone's issues going on.
Well, it's funnier, and like the fact that like the goal is to like it's not to kill the villain, which they changed the mind of the villain, but they changed the mind of the kid.
Right.
And that's just like, that's good storytelling.
It was cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is some news on the third one. There was a lot of drama with wondering, as Disney finally got all their properties, the Fox property back, what's going to happen with Deadpool. So this is from Collider.com. Adam Chitwood has the story. That's right. When Deadpool 3 happens, it won't be as some tangentially related property with a couple of jokes about the MCU. Ryan Reynolds' foul-mouthed mercenary is officially joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and he'll be keeping his R rating. Feige said sisters Lizzie Molyneux-Ligone and Wendy Molyneux are hard at work on the script with Reynolds overseeing, but Deadpool 3 won't begin filming until 2022 at the earliest. So it's going to be a while, but at least it's going to be R-rated. I think that's what a lot of people wanted to see, that it sticks with that R rating.
That makes me wonder if Ryan Reynolds' schedule is like, I know this year is going to be somewhat of a wash as far as filming, but I feel like Hollywood as a whole has gotten better at filming during...
Yeah, they kind of figured it out, like what they have to do with quarantining and that kind of stuff. But a lot of movies are back in production now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I also thought, like, watching the second one, there's a lot of like R-rated gags in it for sure, but does it really need to be R-rated?
No, absolutely not.
I feel the same way. So I wasn't really worried about them having to go like PG-13. I think you can still get that same vibe with it. And that the property of Deadpool, he's in Fortnite, he's in cartoons. He's almost like less R-rated, more PG-13 anyways. So I wasn't bothered by
I think it's just because he's immature. And so people, immaturity is going to come with it. People are going to like that random style of humor.
Yeah, but you can still get that stuff across with PG-13 for sure.
Yeah.
So I wasn't worried about it, but I think it could, if anything, it makes more sense as PG-13 because there's more kids that like Deadpool than adults, honestly, now.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so we got some news on that. It's pretty cool. We got Lucasfilm Games returns as the official home of Star Wars games and more. So this was from today. In October 2012, I'm going to switch to something real quick before I start rambling off. I got some 1313 footage here.
My.
This is the OG.
Is this that game that got canceled?
Yes. So it was canceled when this deal was enacted.
Man, those graphics were godlike when this was originally shown. This was unbelievable. Now, this is extremely believable.
Right. Now it's doable, but at the time, it was way ahead of the time.
Yeah.
So we got Andy Chalk from PC Gamer has an article. It's kind of a lengthy one. In October 2012, Disney dropped roughly $4 billion to acquire Lucasfilm and the Star Wars multimedia empire. 6 months later, in April 2013, it pulled the plug on LucasArts, the company's game development and publishing division. An exclusive deal to make Star Wars games was made with Electronic Arts later that year, a relationship that by some estimates has not gone as smoothly as expected. And today, Disney announced a new era of storytelling in Star Wars and beyond that will take place under the revived Lucasfilm Games banner. So it's not clear how the return of Lucasfilm Games will impact EA's license. So EA still owns Respawn, and they did that recent Star Wars game. As the announcement doesn't say whether the name was resurrected as an EA-led publishing label or an in-house division at Disney. Disney CEO Bob Iger said in 2019 that it had a good relationship with EA, and EA CEO Andrew Wilson echoed that a year later, saying the publisher has a tremendous relationship with Disney and intends to double down on that relationship. But there are only a couple of years remaining in EA's exclusive Star Wars license, ending in 2023, and Disney may have decided that it wants to be free to try its luck with other studios. So yeah, it's a restructuring, and it's Lucasfilm is back. They're the games division anyways. Maybe we see with them being back, this 1313 coming back to life. I kind of doubt it, but maybe they kind of tackle that project again. But I wonder how far along this game was before they canceled it. Like, can you actually bring this, whatever was left, back to life and do this game again?
Probably not. You probably need to start over again.
It's got to be old hardware textures or like engine stuff.
Yeah.
But this game was nuts.
I mean, you could do better looking than this right now. Like this still looks great.
Yeah, so this is 2013, or at least when the game was canceled.
2013.
And the quality that they were shooting for was like end of PS4 era. So they were
this was impossible at the time.
Right.
This is very possible now.
Or at least possible like only on PC or whatever, but yeah, it was nuts. So, but what this deal calls into question is what happens with the other properties that are, have the Star Wars franchise, like EA owns Respawn, and they're working on those Star Wars games. I forget the name of the last one, but it was a pretty dope game. I played through it all.
Fallen Order?
Fallen Order, there you go.
I should try that.
You have to imagine there's a sequel to that they're working on. Is that now in limbo, or do they just keep rolling that out? That was a huge property and it was successful. You also have the Battlefront franchise. Right. But I know a lot of people are upset with how EA owns that franchise and maybe they're not pumping out the best games. Maybe it'd be dope for Disney to allow, like, say this is a very Naughty Dog-ish game, allowing another AAA dev to kind of take over some game in the Star Wars franchise.
Man, I would fuck with a Naughty Dog Star Wars game.
You know what? There was a canceled game from Amy Hennig, who she was like head writer at Naughty Dog. She was working on a game that was canceled. I want to say last year before that. There was going to be this kind of thing, this kind of like 1313 vibe, third-person shooter action game, but that was canceled. So I don't know. They've been working on this kind of stuff, but it just doesn't see the light of day.
Right.
But it's interesting. We'll get more information as the months go by, but I wonder if it's more extreme for these games or if it's going to be just a restructuring for like the label of the games, the publisher, anyways, that puts these games out. But I don't know. But I love to go back to this trailer because it's so dope. This game looked like it was really going to be an awesome game. Yeah. So in some alternate dimension, it actually came out. But we have move on from that one. We got this is just I wanted to note that Resident Evil 4. It's the 16th anniversary today, so it came out January 11, 2005. Oh. Do you have any fond Resident Evil 4 memories, Kevin?
I remember this game was in development for forever. And I was checking in on it on like Nintendo Power magazines
back when you had to wait or go to the grocery store to actually read these things.
Yeah, for forever. And I think I barely got a GameCube right before this came out. And these graphics were, oh God, these were mind blowing at the time. This was photorealistic.
Yeah. And the engine, the same like quality of the graphics still holds up. So we're watching PS4 Pro footage of it, which is like upscaled and stuff, but the standard GameCube version doesn't look that far off from this. It looks pretty dope. I just recently, last year during the first quarantine, I played through and actually completed the entire campaign because I never finished this game.
Oh boy.
And I loved it, man.
It's really, corny as shit.
Oh, for sure.
It's just, this is kind of when like, and people have said this is when Resident Evil, because it's always been like weird and kind of corny and cheesy, but this is when it embraced the cheese.
Right. They really leaned into it and it works.
Yeah. I do remember about when this came out, I tried to go to school with my hair done like Leon S. Kennedy, and my mom was like, no, go back upstairs.
Do you have the cool like fur coat that he's got in the beginning?
Well, it's that split down the middle, and it's like, you look like a pervert. Go back upstairs and fix it.
Mom, I'm cool now.
I think I looked like what was that movie where the guy can like control the rats with his brain? Like
Willard.
Yeah,
Willard. Movie Willard. Yeah.
Is that a good movie?
I don't know. I never watched it. I know that guy, that character, because he's also he's in Charlie's Angels. He's the thin man or whatever, and he's just like
he's a good actor.
Hair back. He's a good actor.
I haven't seen him in anything in a long while.
He's in my mind. He's always that creepy thin man, but yeah, it's a game 16 years ago. There is scuttlebutt of them tackling the Resident Evil 4 remake. You have to imagine it's going to happen. I'm so crunk for that remake because man, this with like the new Aria engine would be insane.
I think the question is, where do you go after you do this one? I don't think you do 5. I think you stop at 4.
I think you're right. Maybe you go back to say Code Veronica because that never got the love when it came out.
Do they do that first though?
They could, but I want to see RE4 so bad. And I think they've already talked about tackling it. They're just going to take time to do it, which I think for sure. You could update a lot of stuff. I'd never liked the missions with the president's daughter.
Why? She's invincible. You don't have to worry about her.
She can get kidnapped though by those one dudes in the
Yeah,
clothes.
but how hard is that to do?
It was annoying.
Compared to other escort missions of that time.
She's not invincible though. I feel like people can at least kidnap her, if not like bite her. But I think she has her own like health bar and stuff. This
mission was probably the most out of the place mission in the game.
With the boat?
But it was still amazing. Yeah, with the boat.
That was I really enjoyed it. I mean the game overall, but yeah, I think there's stuff you can update because it's a perfect game, but at the same time it's not perfect. You could improve some quality of life stuff, and I think just the engine revamp alone would be insane. So I cannot wait. But yeah, 16 years. Backstreet's back. All right. Megan says in the chat, so that's good. Good to hear. But it's true. I just thought it'd be cool to take note of the OG RE4. It's anniversary today. We got this one's also lengthy but a little interesting. So we got Microsoft tried to buy Nintendo but got laughed out of the room. This is from Engadget as I switch over to my little B-roll here. So we got I'm boring you, Gavin. We got Microsoft.
Bruh, I stayed up till 1:30 playing Cyberpunk.
Oh, yeah. Tries to buy Nintendo but gets laughed out of the room. This is Engadget.com. Nathan Ingram. Bloomberg has published an in-depth oral history of how the original Xbox console came to be. It's a fascinating to read, but one particular passage stands out. Microsoft considered using its considerable financial might to buy developers and set its sights high, approaching Nintendo about an acquisition. Microsoft was laughed out of the room, says Kevin Bacchus, a director for the third-party relations on the Xbox project. They just laughed their asses off, Bacchus said to Bloomberg. Like, imagine an hour of somebody just laughing at you. That's kind of how the meeting went. So the article goes on. It's a pretty dope article, and they just go into detail. And now with the Xbox, the original one being 20 years old now, they're going through the history and talking to people and kind of revealing some of the insights. And there's another article that will go into more insights on the Xbox history. But yeah, I mean, it's I guess it's cool. I give them props for the balls to actually meet with Nintendo and try to acquire them. But I don't think there was ever a chance of that happening.
I mean, I guess it really depends on when you did it.
So the article mentions that at the time, Nintendo always struggled with the hardware of their devices. So Microsoft's point of view was, hey, you handle the software still. We're just going to build you a more competitive box with like the PS2, the Dreamcast at that time.
But that's the thing. Microsoft was still a software company at that time.
You're right. And there's other issues with them not really knowing what to do hardware-wise. I think they're kind of promising stuff. Yeah. That's a good segue into the next one, which is just more info on that.
By the way, so this reminds me, Digital Foundry decided to put up some footage of playing Butcher Bay recently.
Oh, I haven't watched it, but I've seen that on YouTube, yeah.
That was the original Xbox. That game looked so good. Yep.
I'd love to go back and play it, because I do remember that when I think I rented it at the time, and it was dope. It was gorgeous. The gameplay's fun, and yeah, it stands out in my mind as just an awesome game. And did it release on PC at the same time too? That was like a PC port to console.
It's crazy how much better looking Xbox games were at that time.
That's the thing.
Everything else.
I think they had some really dope hardware. I got to play Half-Life 2 for the first time. That was on Xbox, so that was a PC port.
Is that The Rock?
Yeah. You ever see this? This is the original reveal for the Xbox console back in 2001.
He was like 100 pounds lighter.
Yeah,
at this point.
Is pre-jacked. But so he was there with Bill Gates for the original one. He did a recent thing on YouTube for the Series X launch too. Like and they used this footage. I think he gave a bunch of free Series X's to various people. But
I'm sure.
Yeah, and you got Bill Gates, who looks like The Rock's gonna eat him any moment. But yeah, so this is them kind of not realizing that they bit off more they can chew with the Xbox, which is the next story here. So Microsoft took PS2 apart for reference while developing the original Xbox. This is Armina Khan of PlayStationLifestyle.net. Former Microsoft executives who were involved in the development of the original Xbox have told Bloomberg.
Also, I'm sorry. Can we look at Bill Gates' stance here? Because this friggin' nerd right here.
I'm sorry, Mr. Rock. I didn't. Would you introduce my box?
Well, how is he supposed to stand? He's rich as fuck. Like, he doesn't have to prove anything.
I don't know. Throw some confidence at it.
His wallet is the confidence gap. His brain. He's letting The Rock, show his charisma and sell this thing.
Yeah, he is.
It's such a time capsule.
Doesn't need audio. I'm still sold.
Oh yeah, I can just hear The Rock at this time. But yeah, so going back to this thing. So after Bill Gates showcased a prototype of the Xbox at GDC 2000, the team was tasked with turning it into a real retail product. The team then decided to tear a PS2 down. In the old days, there wasn't companies that did tear down. So we actually had to take a PS2, We took the entire thing apart, put it on a giant wood board, explained Aaron Greenberg, who still works at Microsoft. We went through every component, every piece, and priced it out, and tried to figure out how many screws and how much did it cost. Then head of hardware Tom Homdahl revealed that this team comprised of less than 20 people were naive about the complexity of the project. This small team not only had to design the product, but also had to figure out sourcing and manufacturing strategies. So you're right, they didn't build hardware and they had to figure this shit out by taking apart a PS2 and kind of going with it, which is just nuts to kind of, go back in time and realize that they were just kind of almost winging it with a huge amount of a huge budget and people's jobs on the line to just kind of figure this out as they were going along.
So that being said, like they're saying, this article makes it sound weird that Microsoft was tearing apart a PlayStation 2. I guarantee you, to this day, Microsoft is still tearing apart PlayStation 4s. Sony is tearing apart Xboxes. Nintendo is tearing apart both of them, and no one's tearing apart the Switch. So who the fuck cares? But I do. But it's. I
think you're right. They might have more insider people in either lanes where they don't have to like wait till it comes to market. They can kind of, and then a lot of the hardware stuff comes to light where they are told like what's going to be in said box beforehand, so they can try and copy it that way. But I think you're right. Where there was a lot of influence early on, and they had to look at the competitors and kind of mimic what they were doing.
Yeah, it's not even really cheating. They do gotta source these parts, and I'm sure there are some things where like let's go to the same manufacturer.
Right.
Like I think it's the same CPU and like
a lot of them like NVIDIA does a lot of the graphics cards and Intel. There's always deals with them to make the same components basically. Especially nowadays, like they mimic PC hardware so much. It's a lot of the same products going on, same internals. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's been interesting, and there's been we'll get more insights with just talking to that original team who worked on the Xbox in the next couple of months. So yeah, it's going to celebrate its 20th anniversary, I want to say, this year. Yep. If you feel old now, Gavin. So we got the next one here. Some dope news on a Dishonored new entry in that, or at least from those original developers.
Dishonored co-creator. So is this not working on a new Arkane game?
Yeah.
So the way they word that is so confusing.
Well, okay, Dishonored co-creator.
There's that guy that left them is now working on Weird West.
Oh, sure. Okay.
So is it just like two people? Or
let me drop some knowledge on you, Gavin.
Drop some knowledge.
Dishonored co-creator is working on a new Arkane game with Dishonored and Prey developers. This is Joe Screbbles of IGN. So we got Dishonored co-creator Harvey Smith is working on an unannounced new game at Arkane Austin alongside devs from the Dishonored and Prey teams. Speaking of Vandal and translated to IGN, Smith explained that he had moved back to the Austin studio or Austin after completing Dishonored 2 at Arkane's Leon studio, and confirmed that he's not part of the company's next game, but a separate unannounced project. So, quote, "I'm not on Deathloop, I'm on something else, working with the guys who made Dishonored and Prey." Smith makes no further mention of what the project could be, nor how far away it might be. It's possible that it could be a new Dishonored game, but we already know that any sequel to the much-loved immersive sim series would feature new characters after the death of the Outsider Expand Alone marked the end of the series as we know it. Whatever the game ends up being, it will be part of the new era of Microsoft-owned Bethesda games, meaning it would almost certainly launch into Game Pass and perhaps even be an Xbox exclusive. So yeah, we got a new game with the same creators over at Arkane working on some kind of game. I kind of doubt it's anything with Dishonored because as much as that series is loved, it was never like commercially successful. Which I mean,
it must have been, otherwise they'd be shut down.
Well, I mean, I think they're just working on other properties, like you see them with Deathloop and with other stuff where they're just kind of moving along. But I love these games, but they just don't sell that well for some reason.
So they did mention something I didn't know. So was Arkane Leon the one that made Dishonored 2 then? That's what it kind of sounds like.
Apparently, yeah.
So I've only then played the regular Arkane developer game. So I played Dishonored 2, which I finally beat the other month, and that was absolutely amazing game.
Right.
The ending was kind of boring though. And then I played Prey, which was honestly one of my favorite games of all time. I know you love
that one, yeah.
Oh, it was so good. So I after I beat Cyberpunk, I'm going to play Prey 2, and I'll be curious to see how that kind of influences my feelings on the upcoming Deathloop, which I'm super excited for.
That one, yeah, I'm very, very excited for. So yeah, it seems like from that original team, you're working on some kind of new project. I imagine carrying over the same kind of ideas that you find in Dishonored. Neat. Yeah, it's such a good game. The whole series.
Oh, this was for the I kind of remember this. Yeah.
And then the sequel the trailer for that sequel shows off the weird moving that there's a level where all the walls are moving and there's like trap doors and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, it's super early on, so it's gonna be a while before we see anything come out of this. But new game from these original creators.
Hey, I'm excited. You got the original co-creator. I'm sure it's gonna be good. I hope it's a new. I do hope they take on a new franchise, or not even franchise. Just give us a new thing, because I like Prey as it was. It does set itself up for a sequel, but like, just give me more stuff. You guys are so creative. You create these amazing universes that I want to explore every inch of. Just give me more. Give me more universes. I'm sure I'm gonna absolutely love Deathloop.
Same, yeah.
But then again, you have the Weird West, which is almost them competing of themselves, and I'm gonna love every inch of that. So,
yeah, I wonder if with them tackling a new project every time. Well, I do want that, but it's almost like they need one to really catch, to kind of sequelize, to maybe pay the bills or something to that extent, to have something that's super successful, and then let the team also work on these other projects that are more unique.
I think these are paying the bills better than you're giving them credit for.
I don't think they are.
They would not be around if these were not paying the bills.
I think that's why we're not seeing a Dishonored sequel. That's why Prey is a new property.
We've gotten the DLC for both of them.
Sure, the DLC, but I mean, we could actually probably Google it, but take some time. But I think, that's my impression, that these games don't. You never really hear about people talking about that franchise, like the Dishonored franchise.
Well, people are wrong.
They are. You're right. They are, but people are dumb.
Yeah.
So we got another game or article here about Minecraft Earth. Gavin, I know you're a big Minecraft Earth fan.
I've never heard of this.
So this is the AR game, came out a year ago. Same devs that did that Harry Potter one, and also Pokemon Go, which is hugely successful. We got Minecraft Earth shuts down on June 30th.
Niantic or something like that.
Niantic, there you go. Yep.
Is this CG or?
That's a real live action.
Oh, okay.
A new update will remove real money transactions, reducing costs, and include all completed unreleased content. So I didn't have that really paragraphed very well, but the game is officially shutting down June 30th. They're kind of shutting down the ability to buy new products and whatnot. But this was, you think it would have been a no-brainer with the whole AR craze, with having people build stuff in real life and seeing it as they walk around on their phones, but it didn't seem to catch on like Pokemon Go did.
I mean,
did you have any interest in this game?
No, I didn't actually know it existed.
Okay, well, that's part of the problem I guess they had. But I downloaded it when it came out. It's free, and I played it for maybe half hour and then just dropped it. But you can walk around your house and build stuff. You can walk around town, build stuff, leave things for people to see. You can mine things as you walk around, and it's a neat idea. But it seems like it just didn't catch. Like Pokemon Go is still going strong.
I mean, that's the thing though. Pokemon Go is like the dream.
Yeah, because that game was really built around walking around in a world where Pokemon exist and catching them. And
yeah, they are now your pocket monsters.
Yeah.
Besides your anaconda penis.
But yeah, so that will shut down soon. So we got, a couple months now. But we got to this one I saw earlier today too. I thought it was pretty dope. So this is Return to Castle Monkey Ball. And we got the release trailer here, which I have queued up.
I haven't heard it with sound effects and stuff.
I don't have the sound on just because Switch is really sensitive with stuff. I don't put on
Switch.
Or Twitch is really sensitive with audio. But so it's a take on Castle Wolfenstein, right? But with Super Monkey Ball components to it.
This is so goofy.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I didn't know I really wanted this, but I do now.
Right.
But yeah, you can play it in browser, so I have it queued up if you want to play it.
We may have to.
It looks
now,
like,
I'm bad at Super Monkey Ball, so. And
it's on itch.io. It's free, but and it seems like there's no shooting, right? You're just the Super Monkey Ball character rolling around, causing a ruckus and killing Nazis.
As you do.
We can end it there for the week, Gavin. Where can they find you online?
You can find me on, what's that website that just got canceled?
Parler?
But yeah, you can find me on Parler at White Hot Rage. But no, you can find me on Twitter at.
Maybe we should start posting the show there if there's maybe there's a community.
Parler?
Yeah, maybe we can.
I don't think you're gonna go over well there, bud. I
have to do some white face stuff. Alrighty, you can also find the show on Twitter as well at PlasticArtPod. That is it for us this week. We'll see you next week. Bye bye.